Hi folks, it's Pete Maverick Outdoors, aka Mindwise Man's channel, and I'm going to do a review of the TC15 Thrunite high illumination long life battery torch. It's a great little torch, EDC, everyday carry, put it in your pocket, domestic use, can be used like a candle torch and it really illuminates the living room, and also in transit around the house, prepping, survival, bushcrafting, wild camping, any activity from domestic to being outdoors. Over the years I've had a few Thrunite torches which are really good quality. I'll only review an item that maybe I've been sent or requested to receive. Items that I feel, I mean I get requests all the time, but I only agree to maybe accept an item that I genuinely feel that I would use and I feel is good quality and practical for use. Hence this review, because I've been well impressed with the torch's performance, and there'll be details of acquisition if you're interested in the torch or just making further inquiries as to how you can acquire one, will be in the description box below this video. So let's crack on with this video and I hope you find it of interest. So I'm on one of my favourite trekking trails and I've got the torch on its lowest setting. The torch is off. I'm going to press the on button and keep it firmly pressed. And you can see it's not very bright, and that's Firefly. I'm going to switch it off. Now previous to that I'd set it on level 1. Low illumination, so I'm going to press it just quickly and there it is, level 1, and I'm going to keep pressing it now and it will go through 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. I'm going to switch it off, then I'm going to hold the button down and it will take me back to Firefly, the most lowest illumination for really close up or not wanting to bring attention to yourself. So it's sort of dusky dark, not quite full darkness yet, but it's dark enough not to really be able to see in front of me with the trees that are arching over this particular part of the trail. But I'm going to bring the torch up to its first level. So you can see as I keep pressing the button, it changes on the 3 levels of brightness. So I'm going to wait till it gets to its brightest, then you can see how radiant the light is. I'm just going to press the button continually again so you can see how it changes: low, medium, full, low, medium, full, low, medium, full. And I'll keep it on full so I can have a good old deco where I'm going. So it's virtually night time now, and I've been tracking for about another half an hour, and I've come to this very covered with tree branches and boughs and what have you, and overleaning branches. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the fullest beam twice, and you can see it get a little bit brighter for its fullest beam, which is, say, if you want to call it the 4th level. And you can see there's just that slight more brightness. I'd say about half as much again, that I can actually see naturally with the eyes, that the actual camera might not quite be picking up, but you can see its full brightness. I can feel the torch getting really warm in my hand, because obviously it is its fullest brightness, so that means it's using more energy. So let's see how far we can see up there. That's about a good 100 metres where you see that central bit of shade. What I'm going to do is turn my camera to my right, obviously you can't see anything, and then switch it on its 2nd level. Bring it forwards again. So if I wanted to save on the power, I've still got really good vision at this brightness, compared to, I'll press it again, take it up to 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, let it stay on its 1st. I'm going to lower the camera down to my feet, and this would be obviously not for long distance assessing where you're going, but I would say within a good 10-15 metres radius, which obviously my natural eyesight is picking up much easier than the camera is. Okay, so there's some protruding roots coming out of the ground, which you can see I'm just stepping over. But this 1st level would be enough light to actually see safely that I don't trip over anything. So there may be times when you need sort of low level light to see what's going on the ground, but you might not want to bring attention to yourself by having the light obviously up at my face level. So back to the ground. It's enough for close environment, illuminating it. I've got it on its fullest beam now, and I've come further along this trail where this ancient Roman wall is, and you can see it picks up quite clearly, besides projecting right into the distance. So again, I'm getting perspective with the brightest light, whilst also being able to really see defined things that are close to me. And the beauty of this torch as well, it's got what I would call a smooth beam, which basically the beam is not sort of a central circle and then sort of a misty light projecting out of it. So again, just showing some clarity. Oh, and some Canadian geese. And I'm not even on the rivers with my canoe. Last night I was here, thought, hello, he's on the Trekkie trail, he's not got his canoe, let's go and find him. Maverick Outdoors, mind wise man. So I'm continuing along this trail, and I've got it on its lowest light. I would call it level 1. It picks up some features along the path, but obviously, as I say, a camera doesn't pick up as well what you can see with the naked eye. But hopefully you can get a good perspective of knowing that this is a trustworthy illumination that I'm using now, where I can see at least 10 foot in front of me, but especially where I'm treading within 2-3 foot in front of my toes. I can see a good 15 foot in front quite clearly what the terrain is with the flint stones that are buried, so you wouldn't want to trip over them. But if I do want to go a little bit further, I'll take it up to level 2, and that'll be enough for me safely, and also being able to see a good radius around me. And considering I'm not just walking in the night now, It's actually proper deep night time, but I'm overcast with all these trees, which makes the darkness twice as much as what it would be sort of outside in the dark, but with no overcovering trees or branches where you could just see the naked sky above. Obviously I could have a head torch, which I would normally use, but obviously doing a demo of this Thrunite torch, you can have the head torch on, then not necessarily need this on, the actual hand torch itself. Obviously it's pitch black, but if I had a head torch I could actually point my head down and see where I'm going. But of course, whilst having the head torch, you can improvise how you want to with a hand torch, much easier, having to check things out. Okay, so I'm moving around quite quick there, but that's how I would be. Okay, it's not going to be very good focus, but that's how I'd be if I'm moving my torch and then wanted to switch it off. And then with my head torch going in front, just tracking until I need to see a broader aspect of my surroundings and environment using a hand torch. Stating the obvious, but I know I'll probably get questions saying, well, what if you've got a head torch? Well, yeah, I can use both. I've got it on its lowest level of light. Obviously coming up to higher ground, if I didn't actually want to bring attention to myself, it's enough. You can see there's some fallen bits of small trees that are to the left and right of this little bit of the trail. So I'm just going to step over them carefully. As I say, there's enough light to see on its lowest level. And again, as I come up to higher ground, if I don't want to bring attention to myself, I haven't got a really bright light cascading all around me from sort of waist level upwards. Everything is down. So I've got this little circle of light of holding my torch about just above stomach waist level. And it's not spreading out more than about, I'd say about 6 foot diameter. But as I come up this slope, I'm now on more fuller open ground. I'm just tilting the camera up. I'll just stop here. Now this is even a better demo because where the grass has been trodden down, you can see the light reflecting off of either side of the upright bits of grass. And if that went on for 2-3 times longer than what you can see to the horizon of it, you'd still be able to see it just as clear. But I can actually see, I'm going to just pan the camera around, and there's a border of woodland over there. You can see from where it's green to then a dark shadow between where the sky is, that dark band right in the middle of the screen. I can virtually see all the tree trunks of those trees from this light, and that's nearly 200 metres away. Obviously I can't see the bark, but my naked eye can actually pick up all the individual tree trunks, albeit the camera's not quite getting the focus, obviously due to electrical technicalities of how a camera works. I'm going on this final little bit of the trail, and I've got it on its fullest beam, where I've pressed it twice on its fullest beam, and you can see there where I'm going to be headed. As far as you can see, there is at least 250 metres, maybe 300, and I can see it really easily with, let's say, call it the 4th level of brightness of the torch. And as I now go towards that direction, I've now got it in level 1. I'm just going to tilt it down, and that's enough for me to see nice and clearly and safely where I'm walking and the projection of anything 10 to 12 foot in front. And again, after all that bright light now, if I did want to keep myself to a bit of solitude, odds on from a distance no one's going to know that I'm actually taking this part of the route. So I'll be keeping it on level 1 until I know the terrain's going to change a little bit from where I know I'm actually headed to. I can see really easy, maybe about 15-20 foot in front now, because obviously the ground is more level. So I'm just going to stand still and then slowly bring it back to me, so that beam of light has travelled about a good 15-20 foot. Within that length of vision, it was very easy to follow and see. So I've been trekking now for a good hour, so I'll come to the end of now this trail before I pack up. I've got it on level 1, the lowest level, and the most light is from what I can see, and you can see the brightest part is about 30 feet away. And I'm going to press the button continually, second level, third level, and now you can see that whole total difference of how it opens up all that expanse of light. See the terrain around me, very easy now to see the space that's around me on its fullest beam, level 3, where I've now got to go on these steps. Then up the other side. So it's relatively like a floodlight, or just as bright as if I was indoors with the house lights on. This is level 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just to give you an idea of a surface, the bridge wall that's about 20 foot away from me, that's first level, second, third. I'm going to leave it on third. And you can see how bright it is. And I'll show you some distance. There's some swans on the river, about 50 foot away. And you can have the torch on any setting, whether it's on or whether it's off. And if you press the button 4 times, it then gets the emergency strobe. And then just press it and it goes off. The TC15 ranges anything from just over 2,000 lumens to 250 down to 10-15, depending on the level, and obviously depending on the level of brightness you select will depend obviously how long the battery is going to last for. Here's a few detailed specs on the battery life and the alert on the button which shows how much power can be left in the battery, so you can then predict your future usage for it once it's been fully charged. The torch in best environmental conditions and being fully charged, on turbo it's advisable, the fullest beam, it's advisable not to have it on for more than 2 minutes because of the heat that's generated, but it can last, as I say, in best conditions, fully charged, just over 80 minutes. On high level, which I classed as level 3, up to 90 minutes. On medium, about 6.5 hours. On very low, over 60 hours. And on strobe, about 180 minutes. Now that's obviously its fullest, best performance scenario, but even if you just cut those numbers in half, you're still getting good performance out of the torch. Indications on how much power is left, and again in best case scenario, from it being fully charged. We press the button, it switches the torch on, but then you can see also there's a red dot on the silver button. And what that indicates is that there's enough charge on this level, which is level 1. But it will indicate, if you take it up to different levels, that if it's flashing red, you've got about 10% maximum of the power left in the battery. If it is just staying on red, you've got about 20% left in the battery from the use you've been doing. But if it's on blue, you've got the maximum strength where you can rely on it staying quite bright and usable for a longer time. So you could have the torch on its fullest beam, which I've sort of classed as level 3, and if it was red on that little dot, then it means that it's going down to about 20%, no more than that. It could be between 10 to 20%. But if you then took the level down, say from level 3, the fullest beam, down to what I classed as level 1, that little dot could change to blue. So then of course you know, because it's using less power, you've got more longevity of the power to use the torch at that brightness. And I'm really impressed with this torch, so it's going to be a major part of my everyday carry, be on my person and also be in my kit whenever I'm outdoors. So thanks for watching. I hope you found the review of the Thrunite TC15 of interest, and again, any interest that you want to follow up on, look at the description box below and you can check out more details to how you can actually get one.